Today is Monday, December the 14th. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my daily thought, which shouldn't be that long today. I don't know how to start this one, and it's weird. For those who have been listening to my podcast, or for those who have been watching my show, one thing that I've talked about that I enjoy just watching, I have a lot of fun watching, are tarot card readings. And I've watched so many, I've literally probably over the past few months watched over 100 easily. And even though I haven't studied tarot cards before, I just have a feel for what they are because I've seen them. Whether it's the Nine of Pentacles, whether it's the Sun card, whether it's the Four of Wands, whether it's the Four of Swords, whether it's the Two of Swords, whether it is the Fool, or the Empress, or the Emperor, or the Justice card, or Judgment, or whatever. Take your pick. There's several cards in the tarot deck. I forgot the exact amount off the top of my head. But I've always found it interesting because for me, I feel that it's not necessarily a prediction. It's more of what energies are available. It's telling you, hey, based off of this general reading, these may be the energies available for this week or this month or the next month or whatever to use, whether it's in life or love or career, money, what have you. And obviously, there is no way that one reading can resonate with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people under the same astrological sign. It's not necessarily possible. However, it is possible for it to resonate with a few people. And that's why they always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And once it's all said and done, it's just entertaining. And it's also, there are lessons that are taught sometimes during the reading. Just like I had mentioned before with Water Star Vibes, I believe is her channel. She had mentioned during her reading, comfort and growth are not friends. And I took that and I did a daily thought specifically off of that. But she had said that during a tarot card reading, while she was explaining the cards, which more than likely there was probably a tower moment or something involving the Ten of Swords or whatever, or the Three of Swords, something involving pain, is what I'm guessing how that might have came up, or the Death card. But it's just amazing how you can pass on knowledge in addition to having fun reading or attempting to read the energy of what may come. So, and I try to avoid it because I've mentioned before that I have the site. And for those who don't know, the site is where you have the ability sometimes to see things before they happen. And I've had it for a while, and usually the water signs, because my astrological sign is Cancer. And usually water signs are very intuitive signs. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, we're usually very intuitive. We know things. People say that Pisces is probably the most intuitive. I say that Cancer is, because Cancer is also the mother of the zodiac, of astrological signs. And You know how they say a mother knows sometimes? And I personally feel that Cancer is the most intuitive sign out of the zodiac, that we pick up things. I've tried my best to avoid getting wrapped up in it, which is one reason why I can't control it. When my premonitions happen, or when I get feelings, I don't have any control over it. It's not a thing where I can just tap into it on command and see what the future is. Usually it's where I'll have a dream or a voice will say something to me. But to seek out what the future may be or what the vibe is for a situation, I've never been one to just seek it out. I've tried to avoid that. Because one thing about energy can be tricky. Even though it's all connected to a source, and you can call that source, like I said before, you can call it the universe, you can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever you want to call it. It's all connected to one source. And the things that are connected to that source, some things can be good and some things can be bad. And if you don't respect the energy, then you can sometimes let bad energy in, and you don't want that. You want to do your best to make sure that you're surrounded by good energy. And also, for those who believe in prayer, that's what prayer is. When people say that miracles happen after they pray, or that prayer works for them, or that with the law of attraction, where they're putting it out into the universe, they're taking action, they're doing what they can. All of that stuff is related to energy. That's all it is. It isn't a coincidence that people's prayers are answered at times, because they're putting energy out into the universe. They're making the request to connect with energy and put it out to say, hey, this is what I need, or this is what I want. This is what's going on. Or to unburden themselves with heavy energy that might be considered negative, where they pray to unburden themselves, to say, hey, I need help to sustain. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You're putting energy out there, asking for help. It's all energy, and you're sending it to the source, is what you're doing. But like I said before, I never wanted to make it a thing where I seek stuff out, especially on a public platform or for other individuals. One reason is because I consider myself imperfect. And I know if you go through the Bible, I know that God can use anybody according to the Bible, and has according to the Bible, no matter what the flaws have been. But it's like when you step into that realm, when you step into that arena, it's almost like the expectation is higher for the individual who steps into that arena on that platform to, I don't want to say minister, but to speak on a spiritual level to a certain degree, because there is a certain amount of spirituality that is connected with energy. There's a certain amount of spirituality that's connected with tarot card readings and psychic readings and things like that. However, I just couldn't stay away from it. Every time I watch an episode of somebody doing a reading, it's just so fascinating to me. And I'm like, wow. Because one thing that's fascinating is someone can read a spread of cards one way, and then another person can read it totally different with the spread of cards and do that. And I find that fascinating, but I find the cards themselves fascinating. And what I'm saying is I decided to take the plunge. So I am adding a new supplement to Keeping It Real with KC. I will now be doing tarot card readings as well, in addition to other things. I will still have daily thoughts. I will still do the Keeping It Real with KC show on the weekend, whether it's a wacky news weekend, whether it's a movie recommendation, whether it is maybe an album review or sports or finance stuff or nutrition stuff or whatever. But I will do all of that. And now I will also add tarot card readings to it. I have bought this book. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Tarot. And the crazy story, and this is what I looked at as another sign for me. This book was delivered to the wrong address. It was delivered to the wrong address. And I noticed it because Amazon, the driver had dropped it off in front of the door. And I looked at the picture. I'm like, I don't have Christmas decorations on my door. And you know I don't have Christmas decorations on my door because I did a daily thought saying I'm not buying Christmas decorations. So when I had seen the Christmas decorations on the door, I'm like, that's not my door. I don't have the book. So I contacted Amazon and said to them, hey, I didn't get my package. And I explained there were Christmas decorations on the door. I don't have that. And the representative has said, oh, well, we like to give it 24 hours to see if the package is returned. I replied back, I said, people don't return packages in this area. I've had packages delivered to wrong places before, and no one has ever returned the package back to me. And the representative said, well, after 24 hours, if you don't have the package, then contact us and we'll make sure we send you another book or we'll issue a refund, however you want to do it. But I'll go ahead and notate the account so you don't have to tell the story again. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And I just felt, I was thinking glass half empty, that all right, fine, 24 hours, I'm going to contact Amazon. They're going to ship it out. I'll get it. And in the midst of all of that, I went on Walmart's website and ordered a ton of stuff related to tarot card readings from Walmart's website. But the next day, I opened my door and the package was there. And it was opened, but it was taped back up with an index card on it. And I ran it by fast because obviously I didn't want to show personal information. But the index card was a handwritten note from someone saying that, actually, I can just go ahead and read it. It says, hi. They delivered this to my door. Sorry I opened it before I realized it wasn't addressed to me. And then it says their name, their building number, and their apartment number, which their apartment number is the same apartment number as mine. And I pulled out this book because I was still on the ledge just a little bit. It's like I even though I had bought the stuff, because I'll do that sometimes. Sometimes I'll spend money on things, but then I won't even do anything with it. So, and even though I had spent, I think it was so far on tarot card stuff, I think about $150, give or take. It wasn't a lot, but not a little either. And I was like, I think I'm going to just go ahead and do it. But part of me was secretly looking for a sign. Part of me was looking for a sign. Even though I wasn't saying it out loud, even though I wasn't saying it in my prayers, there was something inside my heart somewhere that was looking for a sign. And when I got this book, when I opened the package and got this book, received this book, I said, that's it. That's the sign. It's like, what are the odds? Because they could have simply discarded it. Because obviously, I mean, it's a tarot card book. It's like, okay, well, who wants to read through a tarot card book? They could have discarded it. They could have sold it. They could have done whatever. Or kept it and read it for themselves. Like they might have been interested in tarot cards. But regardless, any of the options that were available to them when they received the package that was not for them, they made the choice to bring the package to me. And the book found its way to me, so I can study and learn more detailed information about the cards. I know the surface stuff about tarot cards because, like I said, I've seen tons of them. But now I can learn the more detailed stuff. I bought the Gilded Tarot, the Royal Gilded Tarot, which will be for clarifiers. I bought this for clarifying because when you do tarot card readings, for the first part, you can put out the tarot cards, but if something's in question, you can do a clarifying card to like, okay, what does this fully mean? And sometimes people would just pull from the same deck to do a clarifying card. Some people pull from a separate deck. And for me, I would rather pull from a separate deck to do a clarifying card. And the reason I believe in that is because if something is not fully clear, but you get a double card, like let's say you have a King of Cups in this, and then another King of Cups shows up as a clarifier, whether it's with one card or the exact same card or whatever, then it makes the message explicitly clear what it is. But if you're pulling from the same deck, then you can't get a double King of Cups, or you can't get a duplicate of it because you're pulling from the same deck. So that's why I would prefer, me personally, and that's, like I say, everyone does tarot card readings differently. But me personally, I would rather use a separate deck to clarify cards if that should come up. I also bought the Uncommon Tarot deck. I bought Oracle cards as well to get sort of the theme of what you can suggest. And then also I bought the Artist's Inner Vision Tarot. And I have like 5 or 6 more decks of Oracle cards coming too. So basically I have 3 tarot decks. 1 is for clarifying, 2 are for using. And then 1 Oracle card deck, and then 5 or 6 more Oracle cards on the way, and then 2 more tarot books. When do I plan on starting the tarot card readings? More than likely in a week or so. I'm waiting. I should receive some more Oracle cards as well. And I think I'm receiving another deck of tarot cards too, because I think I bought another tarot card deck. Because I like the pictures and stuff. They're really, really just beautiful and captivating. So, yeah, I decided to take the plunge. I will be doing tarot card readings in addition to everything else on the Keeping It Real with KC show. It will be very entertaining, I'm sure. And I'm looking forward to it. So that is my daily thought for today. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. KIRWKC on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you're watching this on YouTube or Daily Motion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button followed by the notification bell. Also, when it comes to the podcast, even though KIRWKC.com is the main podcasting platform, which is connected to Anchor, this podcast is carried on iHeartRadio. This podcast is carried on Pandora. This podcast is carried on Spotify. This podcast is carried on Apple Podcasts. This podcast is on several platforms, so you're not stuck with just one. So whatever your favorite podcasting platform is, more than likely, you'll find my show there. Thank you for the support, and until next time, be blessed.